Hello and welcome to Chip Advisor. Yes, hello there. I'm Phil. This is Chip Advisor. We are a food-based podcast where we discuss an individual food stuff each week and occasionally go off topic. I am here with Mike. How are you, Michael?
How now, brown cow? Very good, very good, very good. Pleased to be here. Talking about a subject I have very little to say on. So we'll see how that fares.
Okay. That's that shows promise. Don't switch off just yet, listeners. I mean, I'm sure Mike will find something to say. He has the ability.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I am also here with Lewis. How are you, Lewis?
Blessings, friends and listeners. It's good to be here. I'm fine, thank you, Phil.
Good. I've noticed your new catchphrase slipping in. That's good. It's nice to have one.
Good. Yeah, I've always wanted a catchphrase, and now I feel I've got one.
Who knew it'd be the same as your day job?
Absolutely. It saves remembering more than one thing.
Exactly. Lewis, do you have any opinions on cinnamon? You don't have to give them yet, but just
I have some opinions on cinnamon.
Okay, well that's better than Mike, so that's a start. Either of you know where cinnamon comes from? Either of you have any idea of the origins of cinnamon?
It feels African to me.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going
to East African.
Oh, I'm going to say North African. I mean, we do like Egypt. I'm going to say it comes from Tunisia or Morocco.
Okay. Ooh. Okay. Well, cinnamon's actually been around for thousands of years.
Of course, it has.
Yep. There's records dating back to biblical times. Moses. Lewis, you probably can quote it, but I won't put it on you right now. Further back, even to references in China, 2800 BC. But for almost 1,000 years, when the Greeks and the Egyptians used to get cinnamon, it was traded. It was one of the world's first spices to be traded, and they didn't actually know where it came from. So the ancient world had no idea, but the people who go out on ships and would actually go and collect their cinnamon, and they didn't know. The actual traders knew where it came from, but the people buying it didn't. So,
what on earth is this? I mean, what? Ludicrous. I'm just nipping out. Where are you going? I can't tell you. When will you be back? In a few weeks. I'm setting sail.
It was a well-guarded. It was a well-guarded secret, and because the
equivalent of the recipe for KFC's chicken breading.
Perhaps, maybe the Colonel was involved in this, but it seems unlikely. But if you think you've got lots of trading ships going to different countries, so someone might be trading silk for some cinnamon, and then they might get some cinnamon and trade some of that cinnamon for, I don't know, peppercorns or something, and then so it might not end up coming from the people who have collected it, because lots of ships have traded.
Okay,
so they've upgraded. It's the equivalent of an episode of Saturday Morning Swap Shop with Noel Edmonds. Slowly but surely upgrading, but cinnamon being the constant in that journey.
Yes. So
what would you swap cinnamon for, Phil? What would you swap it for? Given that you've already mentioned that it was swapped for silk, which I find absolutely ridiculous. What would be if someone came to you and said, "I've got a pound of cinnamon here"?
Okay.
What would you offer as a swap? Lewis, I'm coming to you in a minute.
Well, something I'd want to get rid of.
Okay, but equally, it's got to be attractive to me as the trader.
Do you like? I think there might be.
I've been your brother. Been your brother for nearly 40 years. You should know what I like and dislike.
Do you like gherkins? Because I'd happily.
No, I do not like gherkins. No.
Okay, I could probably make you a belt.
Okay, all right, fine. Lewis, what are you offering me? I've got a belt at the moment.
Okay, well, I've known you for not quite as long as your brother, but I do know you're a fan of a Twix.
Yeah.
So, a pound of Twixes.
I mean, 100% I'm taking that as a trade.
Even though
Yeah.
I could make you a nice full grain leather high end belt. That's harsh, but fine.
You've
Fine.
already given me quite a few belts of lately. I asked you if I could have a belt the other day, and you gave me a bag with about 15 in. So I'm actually quite well catered for on the belt front. Whereas nobody's given me a Twix for ages.
Well, I actually do need those belts back to put them back into stock. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway,
I'll try and find them.
Anyway, the Western world had no idea where cinnamon came from, but there were stories. There were lots of theories as to where it had come from.
Okay.
Around 400 BC, the ancient Greek historian, all-round nice guy, and my personal hero, Herodotus, wrote in his book.
Not Herodotus again.
Do we do episodes based on things that Herodotus said, and then you suggest what we're doing this week?
That's 100% why we're doing cinnamon. Yeah.
So I do. Is that why we did Mushy Peas, isn't it? Mushy Peas and Fanta. Yeah.
If you've got a book that good, there's going to be a lot of gold in it. So Herodotus wrote in his book The Histories about what he had been told and what was widely believed at the time of where cinnamon came from. I will quote you. Cinnamon they collect in a yet more marvellous manner to that of frankincense, for where it grows and what land produces it, they are not able to tell, except only that some say, and this is a probable account, that it grows in the regions where Dionysus, who was a god of wine and vegetation, was brought up. And they say...
But it's not... well, hold on. So that's in heaven. Shut up. What is this nonsense from Herodotus?
No,
but they're getting cinnamon from where a god that's infallible was born.
No, you're mixing up your gods.
Yeah, you're getting confused.
Am I?
You're getting confused with your Greek gods and your...
All right, well, come on, talk me through it. What's the deal?
What with
So there was an actual god. There was an actual god that actually grew up somewhere.
Do you want to take this, Lewis?
No, you take it, Phil. I feel like this is in your.
So this would be someone.
You're better on your Greek gods than I am.
This would be someone who actually lived, who people believed was a god. After he died, and then they would
after he died, not when he was alive.
It could have been when he was alive. I don't know enough about Dionysus.
What would I be able to convince the local area that I'm the god of? This is exciting.
Traffic news. I don't know.
The god of traffic news.
I don't know.
Well, I can dream a little bit bigger than that.
The god of eating when he's meant to be doing a podcast. I don't know.
Yeah, okay. Feels niche, but it could. Yeah, that could work. Is it a bit like when you buy yourself a lordship on the internet? Well, like, could I become officially the god of eating food whilst meant to be recording a podcast? Can you buy yourself a godship? What's the word, please, guys? If you're gonna have a lordship, but you're actually gonna be a god, what happens there? What do you?
A messiahship.
A messiah. Oh, I like that. Yeah. That sits quite well.
It's a bit like in Rome with Caesar. People thought Caesar was called Caesar God.
Did they?
Yeah.
Right. Good example, but ultimately...
my God. Yeah. It doesn't got a great ring to it, to be honest. I might have to change my actual name before I declare myself with the old messiahship. Always quite like the idea of being a Bradley.
Really?
Bradley God, the god of eating food when he should be recording a podcast. I can see that would work.
Bradleys are naughty.
Are they?
I think so. I feel like Bradley's. You had a Bradley in your class. Bradley was always a naughty boy.
Actually, I am aware of some naughty Bradleys, actually, yeah.
Bradley from S Club 7.
He was a good... Oh, actually, he did step onto a naughty path for a little bit there, actually, Bradley. Yeah. I've got his phone number, Shall I phone him?
No, not right now.
Okay. All right, I'm recording on the phone, actually.
Yeah.
They are on tour, but... Okay, fine. Yeah.
So anyway, some say that it grows in the regions where Dionysus was brought up. And they say that large birds carry the dried sticks, which we have learned from the Phoenicians to call cinnamon, Carry them, I say, to nests, which are made of clay and stuck on precipitous sides of mountains, which man can find no means of scaling. With regards to this, it's a good book, isn't it? With regards to this, then, the Arabians practice the following contrivance. They divide up the limbs of the oxen and the asses that die and all their other beasts of burden into pieces as large as convenient, and convey these to underneath the nests. They then withdraw from a distance, and the birds fly down and take the limbs and the meat of the animals to their nests, but the nests aren't strong enough to bear them and fall to the earth. The men then come and collect the cinnamon, which has fallen to the earth, in this way.
Oh, it's like he's been smoking something. Honestly, what is he?
That's
he banging on about?
That's what they believed, and that was in 400 BC. Aristotle, very well-known philosopher, also believed this is how it was done.
Did him and Herodotus, whatever his name is, did they get on?
Dionysus? Oh, Herodotus.
Yeah, Herodotus, did he get on well with Aristotle? Or were they like the Blur and Oasis of their time?
There are different types of people. One's a historian, one's a philosopher, and they're probably not alive at the same time.
Aristotle and Plato, weren't they? They were a bit more.
Yeah, they
more
punchy.
Were they?
Yeah.
Okay.
They opened a school. Anyway, so in fact, as far as 1450 AD, there are still references and depictions in French manuscripts of this mystical cinnamon bird, or Cynomologus, as it was known. So they believed it for a long time. Some people believe that's where cinnamon came from for 2,000 years. So it's a fun tale, but it's also wrong. It's not where cinnamon comes from. There's two types of cinnamon. One is the cassia, comes from China. That's what most of us eat. And the other is Ceylon cinnamon from Sri Lanka. You heard of Ceylon?
Let's move it on. Yes, it's not long for this world, is it?
What's that? Cinnamon?
Yeah. Ceylon cinnamon. Ceylon.
Oh gosh.
That's how it got here.
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
I mean, it's quite a good story as to how they might have retrieved cinnamon.
I struggled to stay with it. To be honest. I don't really rate this guy as a writer. He's no Enid Blyton, is he?
Oh, no, you're making me angry. Don't. No.
I mean, I'm excited of what's on page 2 of this book.
Oh, this is on page. This is in the third book. I mean, the book's about the book of books is about 650 pages long. It's a good read.
I've never read a whole book. Ever. Like
not even an Enid Blyton.
Not even an Enid Blyton. Like, I've read short stories, at bedtime with the kids, but I've never ever read a proper book. I got quite close. Dave Gorman's Are You Dave Gorman? I read most of that on a holiday once when I'd crashed my car and had no money to go anywhere else. But apart from that, I've never ever read a book. And I'll be honest, this guy is not inspiring me to jump on the reading wagon. Oh
no, you'd love it because he's talking about what they believed and what he's been told of that time. So it's fascinating.
It's that's good. They'll make a movie, Phil. Honestly, or there'll be a Netflix series about it. I mean, I don't need to read a book.
Okay, all right, but it's my favorite book. You're offending, but that's fine.
Okay.
Anyway, so cinnamon was used as not only flavoring for food, but it was used for medicinal purposes for all sorts of. I mean, pretty much any ailment, they would chuck some cinnamon at it. For embalming, in fact, it's still now. Egyptian what's the word? Archaeologists.
Oh, okay.
Egyptian archaeologists still say that sometimes when they open tombs they can still smell cinnamon, which is fascinating, I'm sure. In the 17th century, the Dutch East India Company found the cinnamon plantations in Sri Lanka and quickly
well, there you go. So they've been exposed as the okay, right, okay,
and they conquered that region pretty quickly so they'd have exclusive access to the Western world's supply of cinnamon, and because you couldn't really grow it, they tried taking some cinnamon cuttings back to mainland Europe, and it couldn't grow because of the climate.
Is it a herb? Is it a herb?
No, it's a spice. It's a tree. It's actually a tree. It's
bark.
Did they not have any?
Bark.
Where's Harry?
Yeah. Yeah.
Everyone's calling. Where's Harry?
Yeah, where's Harry?
Wait a second. Wait a second.
Oh.
Harry, where's Harry? Harry!
Yeah, we really could do with him at this juncture. Were there not other spices involved that meant that A, were nice, and B, meant they wouldn't have to go and like conquer a land just to get some?
Yeah, but
it's very over the top.
The spice trade was worth a lot of money.
Why?
Because people, if you imagine how bland food was in those days, and also the belief that it would help medicinally also gave it a high value, and the fact that it was rare, they didn't know where it came from, and so to have the whole monopoly on cinnamon meant that they could make an absolute killing. I mean, there's times where in ancient times, like a handful of cinnamon would be worth the equivalent to, like, I don't know, 20 slabs of silver, because people were desperate for it, for a bit of flavor.
Just because it was rare. It was the KSI prime of its day.
Yeah.
Just because it's rare. People are, running around and trying to get into an Audi at opening time on a Sunday morning, desperate because they've heard there's Glowberry Prime in there. And this is what was happening with spices. It's a very...
This is the case of everything. Rare. If something's rare, it's...
Do you think one day there'll be a podcast? Do you think there'll be a podcast in years to come where... well, presumably they'll be talking about me as as Bradley. But do you think they'll be saying, "Oh, gold"? Do you remember people used to be like, sending it off in little bags to WeBuyYourGold.com because it was so rare, gold. But people just, and they'd be like, "Well, what was the point of gold?" And they'd be like, "Yeah, absolutely no idea." That is how I feel about cinnamon right now.
Well, the Dutch East India Company at one point the Dutch
East India.
Yeah, that's what they were called, the Dutch East India Company.
Right. Okay, it's quite the correlation. Okay.
Yeah. So they when they conquered Ceylon, Sri Lanka, and got hold of all the cinnamon, they worked out how to grow more cinnamon trees quickly, and they expanded the plantations to the point where, because there was too much supply, they then burnt down half their plantation because they wanted to keep the value higher.
Oh, that would have smelt lovely, though.
Oh, it would have. It would have smelt amazing. But that's how much they wanted to keep it a rare luxury item.
Interesting.
I'm trying to work out. I've just had a quick look. So I don't know why the Dutch East India thing was why they combined, because if you're Dutch, you've got to basically go through India to get to Sri Lanka.
Yeah, it's a bit.
Why have they teamed up?
Well, yeah, you know how Britain used to go around conquering and taking over lands and people group. Well, the Dutch.
You think the Dutch marched into India and conquered them?
Quite possibly, or definitely parts of it. If you ever look at the connection, I think between them.
But they let them retain their name, which is quite nice. It's a bit like Russian and Diamonds back in the day in the Football League. Russian bought out somebody Diamonds, and anyway, sorry, carry on.
Yeah,
back to your author.
I don't think you're quite grasping the Dutch East India Company.
What they've done is the way I can see it, I've got Google Maps up now. They have gone, I guess, via Greece, through Turkey, Iran, Pakistan. They've arrived at India. They've said, "Where are you going?" "Oh, we're going to Sri Lanka." "Why are you going to Sri Lanka?" "Oh, no reason. Just thought we'd go and have a look at it." "You're not after their cinnamon, are you? Because we're headed there." "Yeah, we are." "Well, let's join forces." "Okay, fine." And then they got in a little boat and headed from India to Sri Lanka.
Barking up the wrong tree. If you, they didn't just go for a walk and go on the land. They went in boats.
Well, they not from Netherlands to India. They wouldn't have done. It's pretty much landlocked all the way. That would be madness.
Well,
I've got the route here, Phil. I've put it into Google Maps. I've done it.
Right.
Netherlands to Sri Lanka, and like I say, they're going via Greece, Turkey, Iraq, Iran, Pakistan. Then they hit India, which is
how long is that going to take us to walk?
82 days according to this, which doesn't seem that long.
No. That's all right.
That's exactly what it says. If I wanted to,
but 82 days...
cycling not available cycling. Sorry, go on, Phil. Yeah.
82 days of walking through countries and lands and tribes that probably don't want you to be walking through.
And I guess that's with no stopping.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you'd have thought that they would have. I mean, and they've conquered all those lands presumably on the way, or said, or just they said, "Oh, where are you going?" And we said, just if it's Sri Lanka. Oh, okay, yeah, through you go. I don't think there's any cinnamon there. Crack on.
Right. No. Now what happened was the Spanish discovered a route around the bottom of Africa about.
Oh yeah, I'm looking. I see it. I see. We could. Okay, Spain, Portugal, Morocco, through Algeria. Where are they headed next from there, please? Into Niger and Chad, presumably. Sudan. Is it then Ethiopia and then across?
By boat, Michael. So
yeah. So when they get to Ethiopia / Somalia, they could then boat it across from there to Sri Lanka. But if they do that, they're not going through India. So how have India managed to get involved?
No, Sri Lanka is the teardrop of India at the bottom.
I see it.
The Spanish did a route by boat that went across round underneath Africa. At this point, Mike, they've not gone on land. Keep going. Head up.
What? All the way around the edge?
Well, you've also got there's quite a connection between South Africa and Holland as well.
Yeah.
Is there?
Yeah.
So they've gone all the way around the edge. They've thought, we could just wander through Algeria, but we're not going to bother. We're going to go all the way around the edge, down to the bottom. Sorry, this isn't great for audio, but then they've hit South Africa, and I don't know, conquered some stuff there, and then South Africa looks like some pictures coming out. And then what's happened to Madagascar? Have they sailed around that as well?
Oh, they got vanilla on the way past.
Yeah.
What absolutely ridiculous!
It's quite the track.
Goodness me, they've really gone for it.
The money involved in this was astonishing, and Christopher Columbus, he went on search looking for spices. That's how he found the Americas, because he was looking for spices.
What's the furthest you've ever travelled, Mike, to go and get something?
It feels like not far. I mean, just before Mike answers that, he used to pay me. He used to pay me 50p when we were both kids, and he had a job and I didn't. He used to pay me 50p to walk to the Spar shop, which is at best 150 meters from our old house.
Well, you're welcome.
To get him pizzas and bring them back. So I don't think Mike's going to journey far for stuff.
I reckon he has travelled to pick up something off eBay.
Well, look, first and foremost, that was your first real job working for me, so you're welcome. In terms of where have I travelled to? Well, I went to Uganda to do some charity work once, and I guess I found myself really in a way. I went searching for myself.
Right.
I drove to Derby to get a car.
Okay.
How far have you driven to get a tennis ball machine?
I did drive. I drove to Hertfordshire for a tennis ball machine. It's about 2 hours. Wasn't too bad. Yeah, but I don't think I drive or sail all the way around the outskirts of Africa for some cinnamon.
Yeah, but you've got to understand, they didn't have tennis ball machines.
Would you pay someone to?
Yeah,
it wasn't
I paid them 50p. I paid them 50p to go get. I'd say, all right, lads. It's the Dutch group, because they wouldn't have been called the Dutch in East India group at the time. So I'd say, you're the Dutch group. You're off to get to cinnamon, are you? Okay, cool. Yeah, no, I'll have some. It's 50p. Just grab me some and bring it back with you.
Yeah, that's effectively what happened, mate. But there was a lot of people wanting it, so there was big money in that journey. So it's worth taking. Do you understand?
I've really boiled this down for Mike to understand what was going on here.
Yeah,
it's real life experience stories.
It's been really helpful for me to have them. I mean, it won't help with our listeners, but it's been really helpful for me to have the map in front of me. And so, I mean, they could have just. I mean, Algeria, Libya, Egypt, then you could sell. I mean, I suppose you'd have to drag the boat across there, wouldn't you? That's the tricky bit.
I would suggest there's a website called thehistoryguild.org, and that has got a map of the trade routes that the Dutch East India Company took. So,
if you could have told me that about 10 minutes ago, that would have made all of this, a lot more,
right.
easy.
They would have been collecting not just cinnamon, but they then would have been popping over to China and getting some pepper. They would have been getting some cloth. They would have been getting some silk. They would have been getting all sorts of things, tea, whatever.
Okay, yeah, China. Yeah, I can see China. That would work for a bit of what they get from there. Tea,
silk, porcelain. All of these things that they then trade with other ports. So it'd be a lot of back and forth.
I feel like it should have just been a bit more like the good life. Really, you just sort of fend for yourself in your own country and eat what you've got. So they should have just had some. I don't know, some turnip mash, and I'm sure they had lambs, lamb and turnip mash for dinner, and there's plenty of wool going on the sheep in Wales, so really is silk necessary? It's quite a journey to make for some silk and some cinnamon.
I've got a feeling this episode might become a two-parter.
No, sorry, no, go on. I've got a meeting in 23 minutes. Sorry, do carry on. Fast track it. Go.
Let's zoom into a quiz. I think that would, I think the listener is going to be slightly worried about you, Mike. So let's do the quiz.
All right.
It's a quiz. It's a quiz. It's a quiz. It's a quiz. So then, gents, I've been to our old friend Waitrose.com and I've typed in the word cinnamon on the search. Okay, there are 30 results on the Waitrose.com for items with cinnamon in the title.
Okay.
Okay. So I want you to alternate, and it's until someone gets one wrong, really. So, right. Lewis, you can go first because you understand trade routes better.
Okay.
Tension music, please.
Oh, okay. No problem. After you, Lewis.
All right. I'm going to say ground cinnamon.
Ground cinnamon. Yes.
Cinnamon. Hold on. Cinnamon sticks.
It's still in. Yes.
Yeah.
Cinnamon bun.
Iced cinnamon bun. Yes.
Cinnamon golden grahams. Oh gosh, that's great.
Nestle Curiously Cinnamon, as they're called now. Yes.
Yes. Good.
Right. About some kind of cinnamon tea. There's got to be some kind of.
Yeah. You got a Pucker wild apple cinnamon tea bag.
That's the one.
Okay, I'm struggling at this point.
Are you?
Is a cinnamon swirl the same as a cinnamon bun?
What you've got to understand is the whole website.
I got to be honest, I don't really know anything about cinnamon. I don't know if it's become apparent.
No, you definitely need to know anything about cinnamon to know that there are products with cinnamon.
Yeah, but I don't. Apple and cinnamon crumble.
Cinnamon crumble.
I've changed my mind.
Have you?
Am I allowed to change my mind?
Do you want to change your mind?
Yes.
Okay, if you're quick.
Cinnamon cookie.
Cinnamon cookie. What, a single cinnamon cookie?
Oh, for goodness sake. I mean... cinnamon biscuits. Cinnamon. Oh, okay,
Hello,
right.
darkness,
okay.
my old friend.
Fine. What, don't tell me. Was cinnamon crumble on there?
No.
Oh, thank goodness. Okay.
You've missed some real open goals there. Lewis, did you have any more on your list?
Well, the one that I don't know whether it'd come up with cinnamon. It's definitely got cinnamon in it. Would be like a chai tea.
No.
No,
No,
you got it in it, but wouldn't be anything.
Yeah, no, you got. I won't read through all of them, but cinnamon buns, cinnamon rolls.
I said cinnamon bun.
Yeah,
You
you
said
had
cinnamon bun.
You said cinnamon bun, but there's also a pack of cinnamon buns.
Oh wow! Okay.
Oh, here we go. Right.
Cinnamon and raisin toasty loaf. They do actually do a cinnamon sugar, cinnamon rice cake, cinnamon and raisin bagels, cinnamon popcorn.
Bagels.
Bagels, yeah.
Yeah, cinnamon dolce latte, cinnamon churros.
Oof.
There's multiple cinnamon porridges.
Horrible.
Airwick mist, spiced apple and cinnamon.
Absolutely disgusting. It's like my worst one. That and the mulled wine one. They're the worst two.
Oh, I love those two.
I nearly went mulled wine as something containing cinnamon, but not.
No, you wouldn't have got anything there. Apple and cinnamon yogurt, apple and cinnamon muesli, scented cinnamon tea. Like bees like cinnamon because that's why you got so many cinnamon candles. It's impressive.
Sorry,
Okay,
what? Okay.
that's yeah. Anyway, do you want some listener questions?
Yes, please.
Okay. Let's go with Mike. Do you want to do the cinnamon challenge?
My name isn't Mike. My name is Bradley God. And
Hi.
no, I die. And no, I don't want to do the cinnamon challenge. Thank you.
People have choked and died doing the cinnamon challenge.
Remind me what that you have to eat. Is it a tablespoon or something of
tablespoon of cinnamon, dried powder, cinnamon powder? Yeah.
Yeah, I remember it was a bit of a craze and was all in the news a few years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You imagine the guys coming back from Sri Lanka doing that?
No, I mean the
amount of money it would have cost you would have been.
Yeah, it'd be the equivalent. Yeah, the equivalent of us snorting gold leaf, I imagine. Yeah,
yeah,
ridiculous.
Not again.
Yeah, no, in fact, so it looks funny on video because you got cinnamon plumes of smoke coming out of your nose and stuff, but people have died, so don't do it.
Don't try that at home, kids.
Yeah, don't do it.
Yeah. Right. We have got a question here from Joe. Is the bun always the best format in which to eat cinnamon?
I wouldn't eat it at all.
Is the bun the best
right.
way?
I wouldn't eat it at all. I think that's going to be my response to most of these questions.
Yeah,
don't eat it.
So, what, you don't like cinnamon?
Yeah, it's taken us a little while into the pod for me to, really make this, declare it officially. But yeah, not a fan. Don't get it.
Right.
Don't get it at all.
Cinnamon to me is it speaks of Christmas. Something.
Oh yeah.
Oh, when you kind of got cinnamon things coming out, you think, oh, it's nearly Christmas.
Cinnamon, a nice cinnamon candle, sitting at home, fire's
Horrible.
on. Oh,
mulled wine with a few cinnamon sticks
in there. Disgusting. My good lady wife, she insists every year on buying cinnamon air fresheners. She'd have it all year round if she could in the toilette. And I insist. I can't cope with it. So just during Advent, I say permit it. I think we all know who wears the trousers in our house, but I push for it just to be during Advent, and all year round, cotton fresh. Thank you. Good day.
Oh, what a dullard.
It's nicer, isn't it? Cotton fresh.
Yeah, but you can have it. That can be too potent, so it almost becomes a sarcastic smell. Lewis, cinnamon bun. Yeah. Cinnamon bun. Then is that you like cinnamon?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, cinnamon bun. Some kind of cinnamon toast, cinnamon bagel. I forgot about those. Yeah, I do like cinnamon bagel.
I like cinnamon atop a crumble.
Right.
Very, very nice.
I would say I like cinnamon mostly in drinks.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, like on top of a coffee or something, a bit of cinnamon powder or cinnamon sticks in mulled wine.
You drink a lot. You drink a lot of coffee, Lewis.
I do drink a lot.
How often do you put cinnamon in?
I would never do. I'd never do it at home. It would only be if I was out. And
why not? What's stopping you?
Oh, I mean, it feels a very
decadent.
decadent is the word. That's what I would do when they say, "Would you like any sprinkles on top of that in your Costa, Starbucks?" Yes, please.
Yeah.
Whilst we're quickly talking about that, pumpkin spice latte. What
Oh,
a load of rubbish!
What a load of rubbish! We had this in our family last week. We were away, and my youngest, who's sitting next to me now, wanted to try the ghost pumpkin latte, or the ghost pumpkin. Yeah. Anyway, it was a cold kind of frozen drink. It was very grey in colour, and yeah, it was not good, and it cost a ridiculous amount of money.
Does the ghost pumpkin effectively not exist? So, is it just a normal latte?
Unfortunately, not. I think it would have been better that way. Yeah, it was like a pumpkin, but with less pumpkin taste. And
given that Costa and coffee aren't very rare, why are they so expensive?
Yeah,
exactly.
You're
paying for the atmosphere of
of Costa.
Of Costa.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They're they're slightly more expensive than the Weatherspoons that I was in last night.
Oh, look at you, always out in Weatherspoons, Lewis.
Always out in Weatherspoons.
Absolute lad. Absolute lad. Hey, come on, lads.
Yeah.
The issue with a pumpkin spice latte is that A, pumpkins aren't spicy, B, pumpkins don't taste of anything, and C, what pumpkins do taste of isn't particularly nice, and there's no way that if you said to someone, "Oh, do you want to mash up some pumpkin and shove it in your coffee?" anyone in their right mind would say, "Oh, yes, please." So I don't get it. I had a purple sweet potato latte once, and that tasted like Horlicks, so that was fine.
What now? Sorry, what?
Purple potato.
Purple sweet potato. It was in Hong Kong. It was purple sweet potato latte, and I thought, well, it's purple, so I should try it. But that was fine. It tasted of Horlicks, but pumpkin spice latte doesn't taste of pumpkin. It just tastes of cinnamon and
I think we should just all. I think we, as a nation, maybe as a world, just need to go back to turnips and just have turnips. I don't know what's wrong with people. I think they're getting a bit carried away. I think they're trying too hard. Everyone's trying too hard. Maybe the simple things are best.
Kerry says cinnamon buns are great, but what about cinnamon biscuits? Sprinkling cinnamon on hot chocolate, mulled wine, rice pudding, which my kids are going for a huge rice pudding craze at the moment with cinnamon.
Yeah, was that Kerry?
Kerry, yeah.
Kerry, I think she's spot on with all of those. Yeah, very happy with all of those as suggestions.
They've all been ruined, in my opinion. So it's difficult. Polar opposites here.
Your
kids go. Oh no, yeah.
Go on.
Say that again. No, say that again. We can edit that out. Go.
Kerry also asks about the gum that they have in the United States, which the cinnamon gum, which is Big Red, which you can buy over here in some certain shops.
Yeah, I don't feel like that's something I want. I feel like cinnamon's a complement to another flavour. I think cinnamon on its own feels a lot.
Phil, you say that your children are going through a rice pudding phase.
Yeah, we've been there.
You say they're putting cinnamon on top.
Yeah, so they get these pots
not jam.
No, well, hang on, hold your horses. So they have the little equivalent of a Muller rice. They get a six pack of those. I mean, within a week or so, they'll be bored of them and be asking for something else. But at the moment, they enjoy them, and then they microwave the pot once they peel the lid off, including all the metal. I must stress that. So all of the lid comes off. They put it in the microwave for a minute, and then they sprinkle cinnamon on top. Usually, they're already like jam flavored, like strawberry flavored. So,
right, okay.
Mickey says, "Why are they so expensive?" I don't get that question. He's put a laughing emoji, and I'm wondering what I've missed.
Cinnamon, why are they so expensive? Well, Mickey, thank you for your contribution.
It's had a very long journey.
Yeah, that is the reasoning. A different Mickey. Gosh, you're going to need buzzers for everyone. Can't just be Joe getting a name. Can't just be Joe getting her own theme. Mickey, a different Mickey says, "Is he the best chaser?" The Cinnamon.
Another person whose phone number I've got. Honestly, yeah, good grief.
Phone him up, see if he knows where cinnamon comes from.
I would, but we're recording on my phone. Otherwise, I genuinely would. I don't think he'd probably take the call. Paul Sinner, also AKA the Cinnamon, which is it's a pretty rubbish. It's a nice pun, but it's a pretty rubbish name if you're trying to be intimidating on a quiz show. The Cinnamon.
Okay.
Yeah, not very well at the moment. Bless him.
No.
Yeah, struggling. But came and did a quiz night for us, and was good form.
Him and Sean, they're lovely.
They're your two favourites, aren't they?
Yeah, they got to be, haven't they? Nick says, "Are cinnamon-style coffee drinks overrated?" Well, this is.
Oh, I was about to give you a really good chase stat. Do you want to go back and give you another chase stat or not?
Mike, tell me a chase stat. I just wish someone could give me one right now.
Well, a bit of trivia actually, rather than stats. Should we go again? Bit of chase trivia.
Yeah.
Bit of chase trivia for you, lads. Did you know? Because we've had I've worked with nearly all of the chasers now down the years, and the Beast, whose name I always forget, Mark Lebet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he has to stay above a certain weight contractually, or he'll lose his job on the chase.
There you go. I'm not giving you the reaction you require because I know that.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Oh, you both know that already.
I was also at that event that he was at.
Well, to anybody that wasn't at that event, there you go, a little bit of triv.
They will be aghast with that information. Andy says, "Why is it impossible to swallow a tablespoon of dried cinnamon?"
Because it will kill you.
Yeah, and also that'll do it. Cinnamon if you have too much cinnamon, it has got certain toxins, especially the cassia cinnamon from China. So that's what also causes your esophagus some issues. So
there are a few foods like that. There are a few foods that it will, if you have too many of them, it will kill you. Isn't there? We had baby sweet corn not long ago.
Yeah, well, that's just if you grow it too big and turn it into not a baby. If you grow it into a toddler, you got problems.
Yeah, Harry wasn't happy with that gardening fact.
I'm going to go to the garden centre and take a picture of that tag on the baby corn. But yeah,
God, I've just got some dreadful. There's a horrible website here that tells you what the lethal dose is for various amounts of food that would kill you.
It's the quiz. It's the quiz.
Oh, this would have been a great one. How many cups of coffee do you think you need to drink in a day to die of a cardiac failure? How many cups of coffee in a day?
Quite a lot. 50.
81. So you are closest, Lewis.
Yeah.
How many liters of water could put you into a coma?
Well, didn't go into a coma because that would be an exaggeration. But I once had a tooth infection, which was very painful, and the only way I could stop it was by swilling water, room temperature water, around my mouth. And so,
it's a horrible website. I need to get off this website in a minute. It's horrible. Sorry, yeah, you did. Yeah,
so
water around your mouth.
I drank probably 20 liters of water.
Hang on, I'm going to have to backtrack here because I can hear the listeners ask, when you swill water around your mouth, do you not normally spit it out afterwards?
Oh, no, I was at a desk working. You just swallow it.
Oh, right. Okay.
It's not salt water. It's not salt water.
Right, okay.
It's normal water. And so, I drank a lot of water, and it did make me feel quite ill because what happens is it reduces the levels of salt you've got in your system.
Well, I mean, that's exactly what it's saying here. Apparently, if you drank 8 liters in one sitting, you would very likely have a coma. Have a coma? Fall into a coma. I mean, we're always being told to drink more water. That's what it says here.
It's quite dangerous. People run marathons and stuff. You can drink too much water.
Just be careful. Equally, 85 bars of dairy milk would almost certainly cause a seizure. Anyway, nutmeg. If you eat Oh my goodness. 2 to 3 teaspoons of nutmeg in one sitting would bring on convulsions. Anyway, look, just be careful out there, guys.
I really feel like we need to keep on moving. I really do, Mike.
Sorry. Yeah.
You said you've got a meeting to go to. Now you're telling us how much dairy milk will give us convulsions.
I've got 4 minutes. Yeah, sorry. I've had to shut that website down. It's horrible.
You often wonder how you get to these websites, Mike. You maybe need some internet training.
Yeah.
Charlotte says, what are your views on cinnamon sugar on toast?
Oh, gosh. I mean, Charlotte, I think you know my thoughts on this. It's cinnamon, which I don't like, and it's sweet on savoury. So it's an absolute no-no from me.
Savoury?
It's sugar on bread.
Bread's got loads of sugar in.
I feel like that's one you could Google from that. You could have a look at that website and see how many spices of sugar and cinnamon on toast would you have to eat for it to kill you.
Yeah. It would. I mean, a slice would make me feel sick if that helps. And even the thought of it is bringing on convulsions.
Lewis?
Yeah, not something I've ever had. It doesn't seem that appetizing to me.
There used to be a van in Salisbury Market that sold cinnamon sugar donuts that was pretty special.
Yeah, that sounds absolutely fine to me. But having it on toast feels less good.
Well, it's just another dough, isn't it? It's just another dough.
Yeah, I'm not trying to say it makes sense, but in my head, having it on a donut seems fine, but on toast, no, I'm not sure.
Okay. Those are the questions. We've had various people say that they really don't like cinnamon.
Good.
Which is odd. I didn't realise it would be as polarising as it has been. But yeah, so what would you say, Mike, is your favourite thing you've learnt today?
Well, I am genuinely fascinated that it sort of adds up now. They were in a boat and they needed to load the boat up. But I was surprised to hear that the Dutch and the Indians got together, and B, that what?
Still not quite.
I think in truth, I've not really learnt a lot.
Yeah, it feels the way. Yeah. The fact that you're suggesting that is still the case. I don't think the Dutch and Indians thought, let's do a partnership. The Dutch started trying to conquer parts of India.
I think it was a marriage of convenience, Phil. You'll have to look into it a bit more and come back to me on that.
So marriage is strong. The Dutch invaded the East India region.
You have forced marriage, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. In India, ironically, quite a lot of the time.
Well, I'm not sure that's factually correct. Or maybe
I think there's a difference between forced and arranged. I'll just put that.
Oh, yeah, sorry, yes. Yeah. Well, sometimes.
Oh, gosh.
Wow, that seems like a great place to finish.
Doesn't it? Yeah.
No, Mikey, that was so not right.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure, lads. It really has.
Yeah. What's your do you want me to lend you the Herodotus book? Because
I wouldn't get through it, mate. Honestly, I wouldn't. When the movie comes out, give me a shout and we'll go and watch it.
The thing is, you've probably got a lot of storylines from big movies that have been taken from Herodotus.
Well, in which case I've covered it. Yeah, I don't need it. Thanks.
That is a shame. It tells you about the customs of the people of the time.
Honestly. I'm genuine. I'm all right, and I have got a meeting to go to. Honestly, I'm fine. Thanks.
For some reason, I've not been able to hear any of the jingles today.
Oh, don't worry about that.
That's right. I normally can, but I wasn't quite sure when things were coming in and out.
Listen back.
Will do.
Yeah. All right. Well, I hope everyone has a lovely week and has enjoyed learning about Herodotus. If nothing else, take care. Bye.
Bye.
Sell on. Cinnamon toast.